stage trial of their vaccine. They say the vaccine they developed turned out to be 95% effective with a 28-day period before the effects kick in. The percentage is based on their evaluation of 170 COVID-19 patients from 43,000 trial participants. Data show that out of the 170, 162 of them belong to the placebo group, while only 8 are part of the vaccine group. Among the participants in the trial, only headache and fatigue were the primary adverse effects recorded. According to Pfizer, the vaccine requires minus 70 degrees Celsius of storage temperature to maintain its potency. The US-based pharmaceutical company has developed specially designed thermal shippers using dry ice. In the Philippines, however, the ultra-low freezer requirement of the vaccine might be a challenge. Health officials earlier admitted that the government does not have such advanced facility.
Even in the US where all of these trials are happening, sila din mismo, no? Meron silang ini-express na concern na pag ultra-low freezer ang requirement for storage, hindi rin nila kaya. So paano pa kaya tayo bilang developing country setting?
With this, a vaccine expert in the country warned about the possibility of the vaccine being wasted.
Kasi pag nasira ang cold chain or nawala sa temperature na 2 to 8 or kung ano man ang kailangang temperature ng bakuna, masisira siya, so hindi na siya effective.
But the government maintains that there are continuing talks with the private sector on the matter. For one, Sahar Pharma, a private importer of medical devices, is planning to upgrade its existing cold storage. According to the company, an ultra-low freezer from abroad costs around $10,000 to $15,000. The cold storage could possibly be set up in the country within 4 weeks once the equipment arrived from China. It notes, however, that the supply of the special type of vaccine storage facility may eventually decline.
Because even in developed countries, there is a lack of such freezers. And once the vaccine becomes available, all countries are trying to deploy it, distribute it.
The health department, for its part, assures that they are considering all complexities of vaccine candidates.
Tinitignan natin kung magkano ang bakuna. Tinitignan natin ano ba yung mga logistical requirements nitong bakuna na ito and what would be the challenges, no, of our health system.
Currently, the country is in talks with 17 foreign manufacturers, including Pfizer, Moderna, and Russia's Gamaleya. US-based companies Pfizer and Moderna are now planning to apply for emergency use authorization in the United States. The move will allow their vaccines to be deployed immediately following promising clinical trial results. For News 5, Greg Gregorio, we are One News.
Malacanang gave the Food and Drug Administration the go signal to issue emergency use authorities to COVID vaccine developers. Director General Eric Dominguez says that this will allow the immediate use of a medical product that's still under development. He adds that an EUA from abroad does not automatically equate to having a local one. The FDA chief also said that a trial in the Philippines is not a requirement for the distribution. Frontrunners Pfizer and Moderna are not interested in conducting trials in the country.
Kailangan maipakita nila na yung kanilang produkto, halimbawa yung kanilang bakuna, ay magiging mabisa rin sa mga katulad natin, no, kalahi natin.
As for the country's COVID-19 count, more than 1,300 new infections were added today, bringing the nationwide case tally to above 413,000, some 30,000 of which are still active. 41 COVID patients died overnight, pushing the death toll to almost 8,000. On the other hand, almost 375,000 have gotten better from the disease, with 286 new recoveries added today. Senators are questioning the billions in funds that remain unspent by the Social Welfare Department. Some local governments have yet to finish distributing cash aid to residents affected by the pandemic. Camille Samonte tells us more.
Residents of Barangay Pasong Putik in Quezon City lined up as early as 6 a.m. last Tuesday for the distribution to News 5. Residents are seen cramped up inside a covered court as they wait for those who lined up early complained that they were not called after failing to reach the cutoff time. The LGU, however, clarified that they had to stop the distribution on that day because of the unexpected crowd.
Nakaschedule ng umaga, hindi pumunta ng umaga, pumunta ng hapon. Yung naka-schedule ng hapon, pumunta ng umaga. So anong expect mo? Talagang grabe ang tao. No? Kaya ang ginawa namin ay gumawa kami ng stub na merong date at merong oras. So kailangan din kasi nating disiplinahin ng tao.
The barangay official added that many residents were also confused as many of them were expecting to receive another tranche of cash subsidy from the DSWD.
Hindi pa nga natatapos yung second tranche lahat, magpo-post ulit sila na mayroong third tranche.
The DSWD clarified that there will be no third tranche of the SAP under the Bayanihan 2.
We just would like to clarify that the emergency subsidy na ibinibigay natin under Bayanihan 2 ay hindi continuation nung SAP ng Bayanihan 1. Bakit? Kasi iba po yung beneficiaries natin sa Bayanihan 2 and likewise, one time lang po yung assistance na ipoprovide natin.
The Bayanihan 2 cash subsidy is provided to low-income families in areas placed under gradual lockdown starting September 13. They are entitled to receive a one-time emergency cash subsidy ranging from 5,000 pesos to 8,000 pesos. But Jay Garcia, who lost his job during the lock TV's payout for the first and second tranches of the cash subsidy.
Napakaraming biktima eh. Hindi lang ng pagkaroon ng pandemya, kundi ng bagyo eh. At saka yung layoff ng mga nagtatrabaho, lahat ang daming bawal.
During the Senate budget deliberations on Tuesday, senators learned that DSWD has over 83 billion pesos unspent funds from allocations in previous budgets and two Bayanihan laws. Senator Amy Marcos said that DSWD has 75 million pesos in unspent funds for 2020, while some 6.7 billion pesos from the two Bayanihan laws remain unobligated. The agency also has 1.5 billion pesos in unused funds from 2019. The senators then agreed to file a resolution urging DSWD to release the funds to aid Filipinos afflicted with COVID-19 or were victims of typhoons. The DSWD explained that the unused funds have been programmed for the implementation of various programs for the remaining months of this year.
Itong pondo na nabanggit sa Senate hearing ay nakaprogram na po or nakalaan sa iba't ibang programa po at serbisyo ng DSWD. At ito ay ipapatupad at sinisikap ng DSWD to fully utilize this amount until the end of the year.
The DSWD have recorded over 40 million beneficiaries who received their SAP already, while payout are still ongoing in some areas in Luzon and other provinces. For News 5, Camille Samonte, we are One News.
We'll have more stories after this short break. Stay with us. Can I have water? Can I have water?
Sean, the agriculture sector in Cagayan
I won't touch.
suffered the most
I'll just pour.
when Ulysses battered the province last week. The agriculture-dependent province has lost millions of palay, corn, and other high-value crops. Residents lament how totally lost their livelihood to the
But it's my cup and I don't care. Farmers in Cagayan are still not back on their feet after Typhoon Ulysses. Let's find out how they're doing from Romel Lopez, who's in Tuguegarao City. Romel, what are the sentiments of farmers there and how are they?
Yeah, Sean, the agriculture sector in Cagayan suffered the most when Ulysses battered the province last week. The agriculture-dependent province has lost millions worth of palay, corn, and other high-value crops. Residents lament how they totally lost their livelihood to the typhoon. Damage to agriculture in Cagayan now stands at nearly 448 million pesos. Losses to livestock alone are pegged at 8 million pesos. Farmers say they can no longer cash in on their harvest. With this, they are seeking genuine assistance from the government. We spoke to one Cagayanon farmer who has been working as a farmer for 4 decades. But in all the calamities that he has experienced, he has not yet received any kind of help from the government. Let's listen to this farmer, Sean.
Baka ibubulsa yung mga ayuda na binibigay sa magsasaka dito, sir.
Bakit hindi nakakarating?
Hindi po natikman pang mga ayuda, sir.
Sa edad mong yan, wala ka pa?
Mga edad kong 50, wala pa akong natanggap kahit isang bin ilang o ano.
Sean, Cagayan sa neighboring province of Isabela was likewise severely hit by the typhoon. More than 4,500 hectares of agricultural land in the area were affected. The provincial government of Isabela warns of a possible spike in prices of feeds. Sean?
Thanks so much for that update, Romel Lopez of News 5, joining us live from Tuguegarao City. Back in Manila, evacuees in Barangka Elementary School in Marikina were tested for COVID on Thursday as health officials warn of possible COVID-19 spread in evacuees. Fears of COVID transmission in the area may rise as one evacuee tested positive for the virus earlier this week in centers across Marikina. Many of them have not yet returned to their homes as those are still covered in thick mud.
May possibility na mag-shoot up o mag-surge yung bilang. Pero nasa maagang detection ng ang sikreto eh. Ang kailangan maaga natin ma-detect para sa ganon hindi na mako-contaminate.
And the planned creation of a Department of Water Resources is moving forward in the House of Representatives. But some senators are worried about its added layer of bureaucracy and budgetary implications. Shaila Francisco has that report.
The House Appropriations Panel has approved an initial 2 billion peso budget for the proposed Department of Water Resources. Under the bill, the agency will be responsible for the management of water resources, including flood mitigation and water supply concerns. The budget allocation comes after several areas in Luzon recently faced massive flooding due to a series of typhoons.
DNR deals with it, DILG deals with it, local government units deals with it. Ang daming nakikialam pagdating sa usaping tubig, pero wala tayong master plan.
Water will always be an issue. In the nearest future, we'll have problems again if we do not put new solutions to the problem.
The Metropolitan Water Works and Sewerage System agrees, saying the plan will help in fast-tracking projects to ensure stable water supply.
At present, our effort is fragmented. We have to coordinate a lot of agencies, the various agencies, to be able just to push our projects.
For the National Water Resources Board, the new department will prevent the overlap of functions in the government.
Kakaroon po ng issue, no? Na kuminsan sa local level, ay may gusto magkaroon ng mag-manage sa mga katubigan at iba naman po sa national.
The Environment Department, for its part, calls on lawmakers to consider the need for the proposed agency to have local offices. The DNR says the measure should also detail functions stated in existing laws that will be transferred to the new department.
May mga laws kasi yan eh. Like for example, yung Clean Water Act. It is specifically tapped the DNR through the EMB to implement the provision of the Clean Water Act.
But over in the Senate, some lawmakers expressed concerns over the piling up of proposals for new agencies. Proposed measures for the creation of at least 7 new departments are pending in the upper chamber. Senator Franklin Drilon stresses the budgetary implications and the bureaucracy that a new department like a water agency will entail. Senator Kiko Pangilinan meanwhile suggests coming up with an interagency task force instead. The lawmaker says it may be better for Malacanang to release an executive order regarding the matter. Shaila Francisco, we are One News.
For more updates, visit News 5, the Philippine Star, and Business World online. Visit our website, News on the Signal Play app. Register for a free account at www.signalplay.com and stream One News Live anytime, anywhere. I'm Sean Yao. We are One News.